Hi there, my name is Toby and this is Body Efficiency Training. And on this channel I'm trying to share some new ideas about the human body. I've got some new discoveries, some new thoughts on how the body works and how we could be using it for greater efficiency. In other words, how can we get more out of this body for less work? So it's a slightly different approach. Now, I've been talking about the electromagnetic system in the body, and I'll leave the link to the previous video that introduces this. But on this video, I want to talk a bit more about electrosensitivity. We've got a lot of radiation bombarding us, in particular from the mobile phone networks. We've got microwave radiation hitting us from them. And this is harmful to us because it resonates with the human body in a certain way. So we pick up a lot of this energy and it resonates particularly with the head and the skull. So it means we absorb a lot of this microwave radiation and it's not directly good for us. But it's still nevertheless energy, and all energy in a way is good if we can transform it and make use of it. So there is a way of transforming the energy that comes to us and making it into something useful that I can actually use in my body and store safely. Now let me give you an example. Even the mains electricity, there's electric current through the mains. Now in theory I should be able to stick my fingers in the plug socket, get an electric shock and charge up my own battery. But why can I not do that? Well, first reason is that electricity is powerful, so my body is not used to handling such a large current of electricity. And secondly, the frequency of that electricity is slightly harmful to us. For example, there is a frequency of electricity that passes through the Earth. It's called the Schumann resonance. See, the Earth, if you see the Earth here as a globe, now radiation is always hitting the Earth, but what happens is there's a certain frequency of radiation that just matches the size of the planet. And this resonates with the shape of the Earth. So this radiation is filling up the Earth. And this is called the Schumann resonance. And this resonance is, I think, about 7.83 hertz. So that's how many cycles per second this is. But any harmonic of this, you could have a different one. As long as it fits within the planet, it's going to be a useful frequency, because everything on the planet, all life and all creatures on the planet, have evolved or grown up with this frequency. So this frequency feeds us, is good for us. Any multiple of this is also going to be beneficial. So if we times it by 8, we're going to get 40 something. I don't know what it is. Let's just say it's 45 hertz. So even 45 hertz is going to be beneficial to us. But what's interesting is that the frequency of electricity that we get in the mains is 50 hertz. So it's slightly off. If we made it whatever that figure is times 8, you'd get a frequency of electricity that was actually good for you. Now, the other thing to understand about protecting ourselves from frequencies is a magnetic field. A magnetic field is in itself like a force field. You see, the planet Earth has got a magnetic field. There's a magnetic field around the Earth, but there's an even bigger one further out. It's called the Van Allen belt. I don't know if you've heard of this, but there's a very big donut-shaped magnetic field around the Earth. This is the Earth here. And this is called the Van Allen belt. And this magnetic field is so powerful that all the radiation from the universe, there's lots of powerful radiation hitting the Earth, but it gets stopped by this Van Allen belt. This Van Allen belt is protecting the planet. A very powerful magnetic field acts like a force field. Nothing can get through the Van Allen belt, or very little radiation gets through. So what actually gets through to us is just enough that we can survive. And this strong magnetic field is what we need to build up in our body, because if we could build up a strong magnetic field, this would also protect us from external radiation. It literally would do this. This is physics. And this is interesting as well. Interestingly, this Van Allen belt is so powerful that if you pass through it in a rocket, you would literally die. You could not survive. This magnetic field is so strong that a living thing could not survive through it, which is very interesting, because if there's the moon, how did we get to the moon? Because you'd have to pass through the Van Allen belt. So this is one of the most compelling arguments that says we didn't go to the moon, because how did you get through this without ceasing to exist, without dropping down? You could go from the North Pole up and round. That could be possible, but we didn't do that. That's a very long way round. So that's an interesting question. But let's go back to us. We can build a strong magnetic field to protect ourselves from harmful radiation. That's the first thing we can do. So in the last video I talked about the human body. We've got we've got a heart here. The heart is the center of our magnetic field. And if we can build a strong magnetic field, this will give us a protection from the external frequencies coming in. In other words, these sort of will get absorbed by this magnetic field. They won't get through, they won't penetrate through. And this connects to the immune system as well. See, the immune system is really a strong magnetic field. And so a strong immune system is a strong magnetic field. A weak immune system is a weak magnetic field. But the immune system is something different, and again, it's not what we are told it is. I need to talk about that in time. But for now, a strong magnetic field in the heart will protect us. It builds a radiation a shield around our body. And we have the belly here, and in the belly we have a battery. So this I talked about here is the storage of electric charge. So if we have a strong magnetic field, we can collect energy as it circulates around our body, transform it. See, by turning the energy round and round, we're changing the frequency. We're changing the frequency of the energy to one that we like. So one comes in here too fast. Okay, it's fast, but as we circulate it round before it gets in, we get it to the frequency that's good for us, and then we can bring it in and store it into our battery. So even the so-called harmful radiation, we can make use of that and collect that for useful energy in our body. How do we do this though? Now there's a third thing involved, which is the brain. So the brain is a control system for all of this. The brain is interesting. You see, if this is a battery, if the belly is a battery and the heart is a magnet, well, what is the brain? Well, the brain is actually a radio. A brain is a radio. It's a receiver and a transmitter. It's not so much a computer, it's a receiver and a transmitter. And the old-fashioned radios used to have a little quartz crystal, and the quartz crystal would be the tuning for the radio. And this could receive the radio waves. You tune in using the quartz crystal, and it would have a little earpiece. But you see, you didn't need even a battery. There was no battery required. There was enough energy. It could pick up enough energy from the radio waves itself, tune it with the crystal, and you could hear the signal. So this is a very old-fashioned radio. But what do we got here in the brain? Well, we have the same thing. We have a circle of energy, and if you look at the brain, it's all made of tubes. It looks like tubes, very similar to the intestines. So this in itself will store electric charge, but it's got a crystal in there. In the middle of the brain, you have the pineal gland. The pineal gland is a crystal. It's got microcrystals inside the pineal gland. So this is like a tuning device. So this is the tuning device for the radio, that is the brain. So the brain receives, well, what does it receive? It receives our consciousness. Our consciousness is like a signal that goes to the brain. So that's what makes us ourselves, that's our mind. But it also receives energy. It receives energy from the cosmos, information from the cosmos. And it also receives energy back from the body and receives information back from the body. So it is a hub. It's like a hub, an information hub in the body. It's receiving information from inside and outside, and of course from the senses. It comes in from the eyes and the nose, etc. Now, so the trick is to use our brain to tune into the frequencies that we want. We want to tune it into a nice universal frequency. So when we concentrate on a center line, using the center line of our body, essentially we're tuning into very higher frequencies coming from the universe. And when we do that, this aligns us, it keeps us in good alignment, it keeps a balance between these three, and that allows us to create a circuit of energy around us, and this becomes like a force field, and this we can use, as I was saying, to absorb the other frequencies, circulate them round and round in our body, to harmonize them and bring them to our battery for our own usefulness. We make use of that energy. Why not? There's two things to sum up. One is build a strong magnetic field from the heart. That will protect you. And the second one is circulate the energy around and around your body, and this helps to neutralize, it helps to change the frequency. So you change the frequency when you circulate. You make it harmonious to what you need, and then after that you bring it into the battery. It's now becoming useful energy. So in theory, I could do this. I could now stick my finger in a plug socket. Here's a plug socket. I stick my finger in the plug socket, get an electric shock at 50 hertz. So this is too powerful for my body, but I'll circulate that round and round and round so powerfully that I can then change it to hertz I need. It might be 47 hertz. I don't know what the number is. 47 hertz, and then that can go into to my battery. So this theory is that I should be able to just literally stick my finger in the plug socket, receive the electricity and charge up my battery. Now I have had an electric shock, and every time the fairground machine that you hold and get an electric shock, I don't know if you've seen that, but one day I'm going to try and find one of those and film myself doing it. So this is a real practice that I do, because electricity is the same. The electricity that runs through the plug socket is the same electricity that runs through our body. It's just a different frequency. The AC current is a different frequency. And all we need to do is harmonise it so that it is useful for our body. And we do that through a strong magnetic field of the heart. Now, how do we build up the strong magnetic field in the heart? Well, the heart is also the bridge between the emotions. So this is a bridge between the emotional self and the electromagnetism in the body. So when you feel good, you feel happy, you feel optimistic, you feel joyful, you have a strong magnetic field. When you're feeling depressed, you're feeling down, disheartened, your magnetic field gets weaker and your immune system goes down. So we want to feel good, we want to feel strong, we want to feel confident, we want to feel happy. This in itself is going to build our magnetic field. So how do we do that? Well, we start with the posture. You'll notice when your posture crumbles, the heart collapses and you feel down. Lift up your posture in a nice straight spine. Open the chest, pull in the belly, feel confident. The sternum's got to tilt slightly up. This is open, optimistic. And this will help the magnetic field of your heart to expand and grow. And you feel it in your body, you feel it. You command it. Your brain also is the commander. You tell this to happen. Yes, I have got a strong magnetic field. I control it and I project it and I build my aura, or my energy field around my body in this circuit. So let's finally do a little bit of breathing. And what you do, just for a second, sit up, project your bottom backwards, so you're on your sit bones, pull in the belly a little bit, lift up the rib cage, look up for a second, lift up your shoulders up and back a bit. So you feel yourself nice and tall. You're resting your hands on your knees. You can't see me, but just try it. And then all we're going to do is breathe in, look up for a second. Now when you breathe in, I want you to pull up the pelvic floor. So you clench the pelvic floor, pull in the belly a little bit, lift up the rib cage, look up. And then exhale, you just relax and keep the tongue touching the roof of the mouth and look down. So when you inhale, you're looking up, pulling up, stretching up. And when you exhale, the tongue in the roof of the mouth, you relax and sink down. So on the inhale, you've got to feel it going up the back of your spine to the top of your head. As you exhale, feel it going down the front of your body, right down to the perineum, to the pelvic floor. And then again, up on the inhale, down on the exhale. So this is called the small circulation breathing. Inhale, you stretch up, look up, exhale, down, sink down. And you're trying to use, you see, you're using the pelvic floor as a pump. As you squeeze the pelvic floor, it pumps up the spine. Even the shoulders lifting up a little bit, expanding the rib cage. Look up, you're stretching the back of the neck, and you're feeling it going into the head, stretching up over the head, and then the tongue in the roof of the mouth comes down the front to your belly. And then you can put your hands on your belly. So a couple more breaths, round and round. And then finally what you do is just roll in a circle. So I don't know if you can see this. What I'm doing is rolling my head in a circle round and round. I've got my hands on my belly. And you're feeling inside your belly something turning round and round. It's turning around like this in a horizontal plane. I'll show you again here. So what you've got, if this is your body here, it's turning around this way in a horizontal plane. Around and round inside your body, and you're trying to feel it right go down into your pelvis. So here's the pelvis. You want to get it to feel right inside here. There's something turning round and round, or like you're stirring a pot. You're stirring a pot inside your belly, and all I'm doing is holding my hands on my belly, keeping the belly in, so there's a slight tension. You're pulling the TA muscle in, a little bit of tension, not too much, arching a little bit back. Remember, sternum tilts up. Hold a nice stretch in the spine and then turn in a circle. Close your eyes, tongue in the roof of the mouth, and you're feeling inside your belly the energy turning round and round and round. And try and relax as much as possible so that you're not even working to turn round. You'll feel like the energy is turning you. And it might change direction. Doesn't matter which way round you turn. You're just trying to feel there's some energy turning around and round in your belly. And you just relax into it. Try and feel that in your belly, and then hands separate onto your knees again. Relax for a moment, twist a little bit left and right, roll your neck a little bit. Good, and relax. So we're going to work more on that, and you'll see this moves into the same exercise we were doing here, exercise number 5, the great circle. Hands go up and come down. This is the small circulation. You see, inhale, hands go up, you draw the energy up over your head. As the hands come down, you're guiding the energy back down towards the belly, towards your battery below the navel. Okay, I hope this made sense. Check out some of these other videos here, and I look forward to seeing you next time.